I know that we are live and recording, but we'll be commencing when my cohort, my co-chair arrives, I expect. So just you can not worry, you're in the right room. This is the right meeting. It's Commerce, and we'll take it up in a couple of minutes. Thank you.
And good morning, all, as we convene today, Thursday, February 22nd, Commerce Committee meeting. There are comments from my colleagues.
Nope, I'm ready to take it away for a change.
Seeing none, we will proceed to item number 2 on our agenda this morning, which is concepts to be raised. And today being our deadline for raised concepts, Representative Vale, you will be free after this. Of which we have 4, and then one item under proposed bills reserved for subject matter public hearing. I'll just walk through our agenda today. Item number 1 is an act concerning polyfluorocarbons, and correct me here, PFAS, background data study by DECD for the purposes of economic development. Item 2 is an act concerning tourism and economic development plan for the Mystic Seaport region. Item 3 is establishing a commission to review tax credits and their effects on the state's economy. Item 4 is compacts and reciprocity agreements with healthcare professionals to address workforce shortages. I will ask for a motion. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion. Yes, Representative Cheeseman.
Thank you. And I just wanted to thank the chairs and ranking for raising these concepts. I know certainly in my part of the state how important Mystic Seaport is to the region in terms of tourism. Number 3, reviewing tax credits. That's a very salient topic for me, coming as I do from the Finance, Revenue and Bonding Committee. I think given the importance of economic development, let's look at our tax credits in a serious way and see what works and if we can improve them, and what isn't working and get rid of it, because it does occupy a significant portion of the money we have available. And reciprocity and compacts, huge. We need to make it easier for people in Connecticut to work. And if we can recognize licensing from other states, or if they're national standards, we should embrace them, because we need to grow our workforce. So with that, I will end my comments. And again, thank you for raising these concepts.
Thank you, Representative Cheeseman. Representative Meskers.
Yeah, I want to thank Representative Cheeseman. Particularly the Act on Tourism Economic Development Plan for Mystic Seaport. You know, over the last session, we had requests for both. We sat through a 14-hour, 15-hour on tourism and the arts. We also sat through a request on intermodal transportation, which I believe we have as a separate bill this session. We also have one on the waterways, as I was joking with Senator Cheeseman. These are all developmental issues. And it occurs to me, as the Commerce Committee, what I'd like to do is to see that we can create a focus on the Mystic Seaport region, and to look to see whether there's infrastructure needs in relation to transport, to parking, to development. It's clear that it's becoming a focal point for the state in economic development. I want to probably put DECD on notice at some point for a generalized plan that we want to look and see what's our goal for the region. And I would like the leaders in the region, you know, hopefully we'll get some of them to have that conversation with us about how they envision the growth. I think we had the conversation with funding at the CIF, and that would not cover the Stonington area, but would cover Glastonbury. So I'm looking at the possible bridging of economic development between the whole region. I'd like to compete with our next door neighbors up in Rhode Island for those tourist dollars that are up there at Watch Hill. And I think there's plenty of opportunity afoot. So I'll be a big proponent. I'm not sure where we'll be given the constraints in funding this session to manage expectations, but I'd like the plan in place, because we are facing, you know, assuming we decide in the electoral cycle, if I decide to run, I would like to be back at this game. And I want to make sure that we've got a plan in place to grow the state. So that's my comment there.
Thank you, sir. Yes, Representative Harrison.
I would just like to make a comment to remind everyone that while we're raising these concepts, support today to raise the concepts and to hear about them does not necessarily mean that they would have future support from anyone who agrees to today. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Harrison. Further comments? Seeing none. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Thank you. Those here and those remote. And the motion carries. That brings us to item number 3 on our agenda today, proposed bill to be reserved for subject matter public hearing. This comes to us from the House. It's also a subject that we have dealt with very closely in this committee. HB 5093, an act increasing the funding for the Artist Fellowship Program. I will entertain a motion. Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Thank you. Those opposed? Seeing no opposition, the ayes have it. The motion carries. We will, that brings us to item number 4, other. And I just want to bring to the attention of the leadership of the Commerce Committee and all of the membership of the Commerce Committee that a week from today at 2 o'clock, from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock in Old Jew Dish at the Capitol, we will be hosting the inaugural meeting of the UK Connecticut Friendship Caucus. The UK and the state of Connecticut have very close bonds, and this will be an effort, and particularly, I think, poignant to Commerce Committee members, but all of the General Assembly is invited. We will have with us the Honorable Peter Abbott, who I am informed is addressed by the title Majesty. And he is from the British Consulate, which there's regions in the state. This is the Boston region, and the Deputy Consulate General also will be accompanying him. The UK actually subsidiaries have over 20,000 employees here in the state of Connecticut, and they are consistently over the past years been the third largest exporting market for our own Connecticut exports. And they also are leading investors in businesses and enterprises here in the state of Connecticut. So this will be about a discussion of common grounds, how we can further work together to strengthen those grounds culturally and economically. So it's on the 29th, next Thursday, 2 to 3 in Old Judish. Yes, Representative Miskers.
I just want to remind and suggest to our clerk, I don't know if we've forwarded out, the CEDF has published their annual report. I know that the topic will be hitting us in one of our bills this year. I think we've already screened to have a conversation about CEDF. I would encourage everyone to look and review the annual report prior to that meeting. So if I could ask our clerk if she hasn't, to make sure she's forwarded out the annual report to everyone. It'll give you an idea of their activities, their endeavors. They're looking for certain waivers in their operational structure. They're looking for certain concessions. I want everyone to understand what they're doing, and so that we can hopefully reach an agreement as to what modifications we might be willing to consider. So it's important that everyone familiarize themselves with the activities of the CEDF. Okay, thank you.
Further comments from members? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, I'm thinking that we hold the votes open for purposes of attendance until, I don't know how many folks we're missing here this morning so far. 5. So maybe we stay until 2 o'clock. Does that work for everyone? Yeah. Okay. So the committee and the votes will be open for purposes of attendance till 2 today. Thank you very much. And I hope you're not one of the people caught in that ATT snafu on your phones, because I am. Okay. Best, everybody. Bye-bye.